Mightyreacts, back with the reacts. We are reacting to this thief stole $2 billion. Damn, bro. Bro, literally, this is the first time I heard somebody stole billions dollars. Literally. This video is by Ray William Johnson. So without further ado, let's react.
So this guy stole billions of dollars in priceless
Sheesh.
art. Billions. Now the guy's name's Stefan.
In what?
Stefan is
Priceless?
24, living in France, and bro is obsessed with art and artifacts. And he really wants to own some of it for himself. But unfortunately, he can't because he's broke. In fact, he still lives at home in his mother's attic. But one day around...
Hey, but bro, one thing about those paintings in the museum, bro, they are really expensive. Like, sometimes I don't even understand how some of these paintings cost that much.
1995, all that changes because he's at a local museum with his girlfriend, this woman, Anne Catherine. And so they're there and they spot this antique pistol that's on display. And Stefan is immediately like, oh, that's so cool. And he looks around and he notices there's no security guard watching. And he really wants to steal this pistol. However, he's there with Anne Catherine and he doesn't really know how she'll respond if he suddenly just swipes it. And so he asks her, hey, do you mind if I break the law and steal this priceless artifact? And I guess she's like,
Bro,
all right. And so Stefan
doing
picks
the
up the
accent
pistol
thing.
and he puts it in his backpack. And they walk out of the museum all casual like.
Just like that.
They didn't just commit a major crime. After that,
Bro,
I guess
just
they're
like
like,
that.
well, that was easy.
bro, normally in the museum like that, they will have the thing to detect or camera or something. Like, come on, bro.
I guess we should do it again. And they do. They hit up another museum and they steal something from there. And again, they're successful with no problems. And pretty soon,
Wow.
this turns into a whole routine. They hop from museum to museum to museum across France. Just
Hey,
taking
for them, it's like a
small
great hustle.
sculptures, paintings, relics, ancient artifacts, anything they can throw in their bag and sneak out the door. And it's so surprisingly easy for them that they decide to go international. And soon they hit up places all over Europe. Germany, the Netherlands, Austria,
Whoa.
Switzerland. And they're smart about it. They make sure to target places with weak security. Places
Yes,
that
because,
barely
come on.
have any cameras or no cameras at all.
No metal
and they often
detector,
hit these
nothing.
places during lunch because any security guards will likely be on break and they
Hey,
are
they
less
smart
likely
about
to
it.
be
Smart about it.
spotted.
Smart.
And while Stefan snatches up the artifact and puts it in his bag, or if it's a painting, he'll remove it from its frame and just slip it under his coat. While he's doing that, Anne Catherine is usually on the lookout. And she'll like give him a little cough to signal whenever someone's approaching. So they got this whole scheme all worked out.
Yeah,
Now,
they got it
you
really
would
planned out,
think
bro.
that they would then sell all of this art on the black market and make millions of dollars. But actually, they don't. In fact, they don't sell a single piece of it. Instead, they just hang it all up or put it on display in their room. And I say their room because at this point, they don't have a place of their own. Stefan is still living in the attic at his mom's house, and Anne Catherine lives there with him. Which is crazy because they're broke and they could clearly use the money, but...
Bro, literally, bro. Do you think I'm gonna steal all of those things or steal all of those things to not sell them? Like, come on, bro. You're putting yourself in risk for all of those things and then not to sell them. Like, come on. You can keep one thing, but bro, I will sell those things and get my money and get out of my mother house. Like, come on. If I had to do that, but obviously don't do that. It's not good. But if I had to do that, bro, come on, I would have sell those things.
They just love being surrounded by art. I'm guessing they also love the thrill of stealing it. But anyway,
because,
this
come on.
whole crime spree goes on for a couple of years. And it's now 1997. And here is where they stumble. One day, Stefan and Anne Catherine, they hit up an art gallery in Switzerland. And they steal a painting like they often do. And then they both
Hey,
carefully...
but wait a minute. First of all, they are broke, but they are flying to all of those other countries to steal those paintings or those things in the museum and to not sell them. Like, come on, G.
walk
where
out.
did they
This
get the money
time,
then?
one of the gallery employees notices the painting is missing right away. And he's like, someone took the painting! And he chases after them, and I guess he catches them because, bam, Stefan and Anne Catherine get arrested.
Damn,
Here's the
yeah,
thing,
busted.
police don't know that these two have been stealing art all over Europe. They only know about this one instance, and since they think it's Stefan and Anne Catherine's first offense, they let them off light. They get banned from Switzerland for like 3 years, and they get a prison sentence, but the sentence is suspended as long as they stay out of trouble. So of course, because they didn't really get in any trouble,
Hey, they are
they not
lucky with
only
that.
go back to stealing, but they get real cocky about it, and they start taking even bigger risks.
Y'all thinking
So
I'm
Stefan and
joke,
Anne
bro.
Catherine, they start hitting up bigger museums. They hit up art fairs, auction houses. Sometimes they hit up churches, which means that nearly every few weeks now, they're stealing some art piece from somewhere.
Nah, they are really
Sometimes
going
they
crazy
even
about
rob the
those things.
same museum more than once in the same few day period. Like, here's a painting they stole.
Nah, but
here's
bro,
another
come on. These museums are literally, they are literally lacking. Come on, like.
one, here's another one, and they also stole whatever the hell this is. And so they keep this going for 3 more years. And by this point, they've stolen around 300 pieces of art. And all that priceless art has an estimated value of, are you ready for this? $2 billion.
dollars.
$2 billion
Bro.
worth of art. But remember, they're not selling any of it, which
Guys, listen, I'm not telling you you should do this or not. I'm not telling you to do this. But guys, if you were in this situation, you stole all of those things. Would you kept them in the room, or would have sell them on the black market, or like, come on? And now, bro, those arts worth $2 billion. Like, come on, bro. And I think like 500 million, I would have stopped stealing. Like, come on.
actually makes it harder for police to track them. So at this point, Stefan is feeling pretty unstoppable. However, Anne Catherine is not. In fact, she starts feeling more and more paranoid. Ever since they got busted back in
Why though?
Switzerland and they got their fingerprints taken, she's convinced that their names are in some kind of international database and that it's only a matter of time before police catch up to them. So she goes to Stefan and she's like, I am done. I do not want to go to jail. You
Bro,
should
the
quit
accent,
too.
man.
But Stefan is not trying to hear all that. And so they make a
Stupid.
small compromise. They'll keep the scheme going, but he agrees to wear gloves when he steals, and they will never steal from Switzerland again. And Stefan's like, oui, oui. But deep down, he's thinking, le fuck all that. And it's at this
Le
point
fuck all
that
that.
Stefan starts going a little bit rogue. He begins going out on his own and pulling off heists. And one day in 2001,
Hey, but he's brave,
feeling
though.
extra brave. And he decides it's a good idea to go back to Switzerland and try and steal from there again. Even though he just
Nah, he's feeling himself. Bro, he's too cocky right now. Like, come on, bro. Bro, they already gave you a chance, and you still go back there.
promised Anne Catherine he wouldn't. And so he's there in Switzerland in a museum not
And
too
you already
far
have
from where
$2
he got
billion
busted the first
worth
time.
of
And
art.
there he spots
come on.
this 15th century bugle. And it's got to be worth a lot of money. So he steals it. Then he leaves and he brings it home. And Anne Catherine sees it and she's like, please tell me that you wore gloves. And Stefan is like, no, no. And he's also
He's the
like,
guy.
I stole it in Switzerland. And
Oh,
this,
shit.
of course, leads to a big argument. And the next morning,
Hey, but hey, lucky for this woman, she wasn't there at that time. So if they get busted, she will get sentenced for that the playing thing. But for the rest of the arts, I think well,
Stefan is feeling pretty bad about upsetting his girlfriend, and he's like, okay, I'll take it back and clean up the fingerprints. But Anne Catherine is like,
Bro,
no
how the
way,
fuck you
it's
gonna
too
do that?
risky. I'll do it. And so they drive there so that she can go into the museum and I guess wipe up the fingerprints that he left. And so they get there,
Bro,
and
they're
Anne
stupid as
Catherine
fuck.
goes inside while he stays in the car. And after a while, Stefan, I guess he gets bored and he gets out and he starts walking around. And that is when some random passerby notices him acting all shady and they report him to the museum cashier. The museum cashier takes one look at Stefan and he goes, "That guy was here yesterday when the bugle was stolen." And he calls the police. And so,
Stupid
bam,
as fuck.
Stefan is arrested. And I couldn't find a picture of him, so here's a picture of a baguette. Now here's where it gets crazy though. Aunt Catherine hears that Stefan has been busted, and she apparently drives home, which is Stefan's mom's house, and she confesses everything to Stefan's mom. How they've been stealing artworks and artifacts for years, and that he's now been busted. And Stefan's mom gets super pissed. But
And she went to
also
tell
wants
everything.
to get rid of the evidence so that Stefan doesn't have to go to prison for a long time. So she grabs everything from his room in the attic that she can. Hundreds of pieces of artwork and artifacts, and she smashes a bunch of it, she burns a bunch of it, and she dumps the rest in a local river.
Hey,
So
yo, bro, that mother is a true mother, because I know the son did bad stuff, but she's standing behind her son.
all of that priceless art and artifacts, like $2 billion worth, are all completely destroyed. Anyway, ultimately,
But still,
Anne
they are
Catherine
dumb,
gets
though.
sentenced to 18 months in prison, while Stefan, he gets sentenced to 4 years in prison. And later, when Stefan gets out of prison, he goes right back to stealing art. Like to this day, I think he's been busted a bunch of times. He's on house arrest right now, to this day. So, lesson not.
But bro, this guy is crazy, bro. Imagine you're stealing all of those things and just to put it in your room to collect dust, and you're not getting no money out of it. Like, bro, that's stupid. Bro, at least steal those things to get money, and then, bro, imagine if he would have sell half of the things that he had collected in his room, bro, he would have stopped having all this money, and then and now he's back to stealing those things again. Bro, this guy is crazy. Hey, but this was a great video. Shout out to Ray William. And if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. See you guys on the next reaction. Gone.